We're here with Brady Moldrup, one of the stars of our movie. Brady, tell me, what was it like working in this film?
It's been really fun. It's been a sort of like whirlwind adventure, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm playing Detective Marshall. He's sort of this young detective, kind of like jaded early on in his life. He's got a lot of doubts and kind of a strict point of view that gets challenged all throughout the movie. You're always kind of confronted with something or another that makes you think that what you thought before maybe isn't so, dead on. I think it especially happens to me with movies specifically. You'll watch a movie and you'll see something and you'll see someone else's point of view, and then it kind of reframes the way that you as a person live your life. Yeah. Detective Marshall specifically looks at life with a very specific lens, kind of like we said. And there are things that Detective Marshall says and believes that I, Brady, also believe. And then there are things that he says that I definitely don't believe. But then all the while through the movie, Catherine, the other character opposite Marshall most of the time, is like challenging each one of those points. And as she does, it makes me, Brady, the person, think differently about some of these different like points of view. Detective Marshall's got a like swift sense or a sense of swift justice, and that it's that the whole justice system is acting specifically for good. And that's something that, I generally believe that the justice system is there for the good of us as a people. But then Catherine comes in kind of going, yeah, but maybe XYZ component of the justice system isn't so good. And like, I can get down with that now. Yeah.
What was your process for bringing Detective Marshall to life?
Yeah. I think, finding initially the ways that he's like me, because then it's easy to kind of sit in those naturally. Then start to look at the ways that he's different from me, and those are kind of like the challenges that I dive into after I've sat with all the parts of the character that are similar to me.
What were some of the challenges of really making this film, whether it's with the character or other sorts of things?
It's really cold outside, and that's been big. So like battling the weather, with the interior stuff that makes it a lot easier. But so yeah, technically that. But I will say I haven't shot a feature film ever before. I've done a couple short films, some music videos, a commercial, and that's it. But otherwise, all my experience is theatrical. And it's a different, it's a similar vein of art, but it flexes a lot of different muscles. And so that's been the challenging thing for me, is doing some of the stuff that a movie requires that is slightly different from the theater, namely learning lines and then ditching the lines the day afterwards. Because that's not something you do in the theater. You learn kind of the whole script on the front end, and then you know it all throughout the whole thing. But this has been an interesting process of like learning 12 pages of dialogue, coming in, shooting those 12 pages, and then ditching those out of my mind and learning the next 12 pages of dialogue, for the next day of shooting. And that's been a lot of fun.
Did that present challenges, though, or was that harder because it was so much dialogue?
It is in a way, but then it's not in a way. Because sometimes when you've got the like thick stretches of dialogue, it's easier. You can catch the drift of the character a lot better and kind of sit into the mind of the character better, and live in the body of the character, saying all those words when there are so many words. And then sometimes the scenes where you've got just kind of the yes, sure, I'll be there. Those ones kind of tends to be trickier because it's more of the listening job and less of you driving the scene with your ideas.
But there is one or two action scenes, and you were in one of these action scenes. Can you talk about what that was like?
Totally. That was definitely new for me, in this sense, in the film sort of world. Yeah, like kicking in the door and running in with the gun and zip tying Shy and pulling her out of the room. Like, it was all wild. But that was a lot of fun. I think just because it's so different and it's that's such like we're playing pretend. Like it's fun. That's a fun time. Yeah. Everybody should see this film because it's gonna make you think. One, it's very entertaining. It's funky and odd, and so it keeps you engaged. But then not only that, it's gonna make you think. You're following one character's point of view, and you might be like, I'm right along with this guy, and then all of a sudden another point of view comes in these like philosophical sort of discussions happening within the circumstance of the movie, and it'll really flip your point of view and make you think things. When you're laying down to go to bed, you're going to be sorting through some of these questions about life and what is right and what is wrong. Yeah.